Hi, it's Miss House. Let's talk about the proper order of operations. When you have more than one operation, and what are operations? Well, you've got addition, subtraction, multiplication, multiplication and division, right? So those are your typical four operations, but we also have exponents and grouping symbols. So when you have a problem that has a combination of these, you have to know which ones to do first. So here are the rules. There's a little rhyme. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now notice how I put multiplication and division on the same row, addition, subtraction on the same row, and I'll explain that when we get to that. Now the P usually stands for parentheses, and in most cases that might be the only grouping symbol we see. But it could be other things such as a square root, a bracket or a set of brackets, and even a division bar could be a grouping symbol. So really it's anything that groups numbers and operations together. And the E is going to stand for exponents. Now after that, we multiply, divide from left to right. And that one can be tricky. And I'll show you an example of the trick where it seems to be tricky. And addition and subtraction is also left to right. So let me show you the multiplication division one that might seem a little tricky. 24 divided by 6 times 2. Now, some people might do this wrong. They might think, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally means that the multiplication would come first. And they would get 2. And that would be incorrect. When you have multiplication and division, you have to go left to right. So 24 divided by 6 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So you can clearly see why we have the need to have a proper order of operations to follow, because you can get different answers if you go in a different order. So here are some examples. Example 1, 14 times 2 plus 5. So notice we have two operations. So we need to go multiplication first. That one has the high priority here. So that's 28 plus 5 is 33. Now, on a test, let's talk about work. You're going to have to show work. So you would copy the problem on your paper, 14 times 2 plus 5. And then you're going to drop down and show me what you do first. Now, you can use your calculator to get the numbers, but you've got to actually show the operations that you're doing. I need to see your work, so if you happen to miss it, I can explain to you why. So you can put equal signs. I will not count off if you don't have the equal signs, but don't go across the page, go down the page like that. Now in number 2, we have addition, multiplication, and parentheses. So remember, parentheses would come first. So I will copy the problem. 5 plus 4 times 3. And I have to do in the parentheses first, 9 times 3. And then I can use my calculator if I need to get 27. Number 3, 16 plus 4 times 3 plus 6. Copy the problem. let's do one step at a time. We got to do our parentheses first. 3 plus 6 is 9. Now I've got addition and multiplication. I do the multiplication, 16. 4 times 9 is 36. And then I add 16 plus 36 is 52. Show your work. Number 4, copy the problem. 22 plus 2 times 11 minus 9. Need to do parentheses first. Look, I got a lot of combinations of things here. I've got add and multiply and subtract, but those parentheses tell me this goes first. 24 times the next set of parentheses, 11 minus 9 is 2. 24 times 2 is 48. So you can't just do it on the calculator and you can't do it on in your head. You have to show each step as you go. Number 5, 2 plus 13 times 2 divided by 11 minus 2 times 2. Now, I mentioned before that a division bar is a grouping symbol. So that means I'm going to do the top and then I'm going to do the bottom. So I'm going to do the top first and then I'll do the bottom and I'll divide last because we're grouping. It's as though there are implied grouping symbols here and here. Okay, so on the top, I need to do multiplication over addition first. So 2 plus 13 times 2 is 26. On the bottom, the multiplication comes first. 11 minus 4. 2 plus 26 is 28. 11 minus 4 is 7. The last thing I do is divide, and I get 4. My answer here is 4. Notice how I'm going to work down the page. Sometimes I'll have to work to the right because I don't have enough space, but you'll have enough space on your test. Work it down the page. Take a step at a time. Now notice I did a little on the top and a little on the bottom. That's fine as long as I wait to the last to divide. Number 6. 7 plus 5 times 8 minus 2. Copy the problem. 7 plus 5 times 8 minus 2. Add, multiply, and subtract. Well, multiplication is a step above addition and subtraction. So 5 times 8 is 40, so I have 7 plus 40 minus 2. So here I have add and subtract. I need to go left to right. 47 minus 2 is 45. Number 7. I've got a multiply, an add, a divide, a subtract, and another multiply. So copy the problem. 5 times 9 plus 8 divided by 8 minus 11 times 2. And so I've got multiply and divide is going to be above the add and subtract. I have to go left to right. Now, and again, you can use your calculator to help you show your work, but you have to show your work. So 5 times 9 is 45 plus 8 divided by 8 is 1 minus 11 times 2 is 22. 45 plus 1 is 46. 46 minus 22 is 24. One step at a time, follow your order of operations. Number 8. 8 minus 5 plus 3. This is really tempting. Most folks will want to add before you subtract because of that. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Since the aunt comes before Sally, they think they add before they subtract. But you don't. You go left to right. 3 plus 3 equals 6. So make sure that you are following those order of operations and you're working yourself down the page and just take one step at a time. Number 9, 12 times 10 divided by 5. 12 times 10 divided by 5. So I copy the problem. 12 times 10 is 120. Sure, use your calculator for that part. But show me 120 divided by 5, and then we get 24 as our final answer. We had to go left to right, so multiplication came before division on that problem. Number 10. Got that fraction bar again, so I'm going to copy the problem. 2 plus 10 times 4 is in the top, or the numerator of my fraction. 13 minus 2 times 3 is in my denominator. I'm going to work down. Numerator, I got to do the whole numerator and then do the whole denominator and divide last. This division bar is like implied parentheses. You have to do the top and the bottoms first. Don't start. Some people like to hear this, do this thing called canceling. No, no, no. We're not doing that. We're going to do the top completely, the bottom completely, and that'll be our final answer. So in my top of my fraction, or my numerator, I have to do multiplication first. So that's going to become 2 plus 40. And in my denominator, I've got to do the multiplication before the subtraction. So 13 minus 6. Finish up your numerator. 2 and 40 makes 42. 13 minus 6 is 7. When I divide that, I get 6. Final answer is 6. Practice showing your work before the test. It's really important because, for a number of reasons. One of the reasons is if you happen to miss it and you've done it in your head or on your calculator, I won't know, did you do it wrong in the calculator? Did you do it in the improper order of operations? I need to see what you're doing. Number 11, copy the problem. 6 minus 4 plus 2. 6 minus 4 is 2 plus 2. My final answer is 4. Don't add first. Be sure you go add, subtract left to right. Final answer is 4. And the last one. I'm going to copy the problem. 23 plus 4 is in my first numerator, and it is over 2 plus 7 plus 36 over 6 minus 7 divided by 7. Well, I've got add and subtract and divide and divide. Now this divide, this fraction bar here, I need to do the top and bottom separately first. So 23 plus 4 is 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. Plus, now here's a case where you can go on and start doing some things because you're going to do that add subtract from left to right. So we can go ahead and do the division. 36 divided by 6 is 6. And remember that division is going to come before this add or subtract. So we can go ahead and do that division. So you don't have to show every step every time, okay? But you've got to show more than just the answer to the problem. So 27 divided by 9 is 3, plus 6 minus 1 is 9 minus 1, which is 8. So 8 is my final answer. So prior to the test, I will give you a document that shows you again what is expected on work so that you'll know exactly what you have to show on the test. And again, like here, I didn't put equal and equal. Those are not the kind of things that I'm going to take off for. What I'm going to take off for is if you just put an answer in the blank and you haven't done any kind of work, or if I can tell you're doing more than one, two things in your head, then you're going to get penalized, not a lot if you get the right answer, but some, because I need to know what process you're following to get your answers.